So yeah, Whistler EWS is an interesting one. It's definitely my favorite race of the year. I mean, I've been riding in Whistler since, again, like 15 years old. So I've done lots of laps down that mountain and I'm pretty comfortable there. With that, knowledge and experience there, it also brings a certain amount of added pressure because you know that that's the race you can perform and you know what you're capable of there, but at the same time, like you have to live up to those expectations of yourself and of everyone else. It can become quite a lot of pressure to perform, and it's good and it's bad. Last year, I really struggled to not let the stress get to me, and while I still had a good result, I just felt like my riding was stiff, and I felt like I left a lot out on the trails last year. And this year, I was really trying to make sure that stress, while I recognized it, I tried not to let it get to me quite as much. I can ride those trails fast, and I know the terrain, and just recognizing those things helped me a lot this year.
So Whistler obviously is special for me because I was born and raised in Whistler, so it's my home race. A lot of people have home races in their home country. This is my home, so I ride these trails a lot. And it's cool to race in front of all my friends and family, especially my friends that aren't big bikers, and they get to kind of see what I do, which is cool. The pressures of racing at home, though, are unique, and every year they seem to change. For the longest time before I won the race, I was very stressed out about the course release and hoping that they would release the course that would suit me, and then I'd maybe know the trails, and that was just so tough to deal with. Because you've ridden these trails quite a bit and you think you know them, you've never actually raced them, so the lines that you've done for so long are just not the race lines, and you're kind of just overthinking things, and there's just so much pressure to do well, not from people, like people obviously want me to do well, but mainly for myself, that you just start to overthink. Whereas when I race in Europe and there's no pressure, you just kind of do your thing and hope you do well. But when you want to win, every little thing matters, so you're just overthinking everything, and it's very difficult. But I do enjoy it. I think you can't race if you can't handle pressure, so I almost like trying to handle the pressure that comes with it. And yeah, I think winning last year was a big stepping stone for me, and I'm glad to kind of break maybe the curse of not winning at home. So now I feel like there's less pressure every year that I do it.
He looks fast.
It's all that matters. I gotta look.
I haven't seen him riding yet, but he looks fast. It's a good sign.
Top of stage 1, practice. Microclimate. It's gonna be blown out, but it's a sick trail, so regardless, it'll be dope. And I'm psyched. I don't know, I feel like I know this trail for sure well enough to kind of chill it in practice. It's kind of fun. Go like fast-ish, but not race speed. Just try to enjoy it. The next day I was like, okay, just chill out. And I know these trails, so just ride them just to see if anything's changed. And on Microclimate, which is a trail I've ridden a million times, which is stage 1, just near the top, I kind of got into a section and just wasn't even thinking about it because I wasn't too focused on trying to go fast. Like I said, I was just riding down, and I just kind of went into a corner, and it was softer than I would have expected, and my front tire just kind of washed away from me, and had a quick tumble roll and thought I was marginally okay. And as soon as I went to grab my handlebars to ride down, my hand was in big pain. So the way things go, I feel like this one was definitely just an unlucky coincidence, but it is what it is. It's tough. I've had to do this once before because I got hurt before Crankworx 3 years ago, and again, it's kind of hard to describe. Like, part of me, honestly, part of me was relieved because I didn't have to race and try to win and deal with all that pressure, and kind of risk a lot of things. And part of me, watching the race was, I love watching these guys ride, and it was very cool to try to learn some things. But I just watched them and I was like, I could go faster than that. I just put me out there. I just want to be on a bike and ride in front of the home crowd. And I did actually try to get on the bike to see if I could ride, just to kind of be out there. And then, yeah, of course, with the team, I mean, it's not just me. The whole team is very positive, and we have a great team atmosphere, and everyone will say that, but our team we're just a bunch of friends, and it works really well. So, of course, it's hard for me to be bummed when these guys are having a great time. So it was easy, and yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, honestly. And to be able to go to somewhere where they're not bummed for me, they are, of course, but it's also they're doing their preparation, and I want to help them as best as I can.
So I think what makes Whistler so special is the bike trails there. They're just made for bikes and they're so much fun. And the fact that we are so lucky that we can call this place our hometown, and our hometown race is the Crankworx EWS. I think we're really lucky. Yeah, it adds a little bit of pressure, but I think we're all grown-ups and we can take that pressure and actually use it to ride faster, and I think our results as a team show that. Leading into Whistler, I wasn't thinking about it too much. I actually spent my first day in the park 1 week before Whistler. I was nervous when it rained a little bit, but it was actually good. And yeah, it was just like exciting to be back to fully just thinking about my racing and not worrying about my wrist. Yeah, just feeling free to put all the pieces together for a good performance. Yeah, I always get very emotional. I'm a very emotional racer. I just feel super like intensely all the emotions when I get ready for the morning. I knew it could be really good, so I just went out and couldn't wait to get started on microclimate. Had an amazing run on microclimate. Had a little bit of a tumble on the start of stage 2, crazy train. I was taking the left line and it was like a bit dug out, and then it crooked my bars, and then the whole stage I was like, I'm running it, I'm fixing it, I'm running it, I'm fixing it. And then I ended up running it for the whole stage. Stage 3 was the lead fuse into BCs, and I had a good stage there too. I just loved the lead fuse so much, like just so much fun riding my bike. My bike was feeling mint. Boom, we're already at the top of stage 5, top of the world. We start across the bridge, and then we race down this gravel bit, drop into top of the world. And I've been saying how good I was feeling that day and stuff, and I was feeling too good at the top of stage 5. I was overconfident, and I think that's what cost me 3rd place. I'm happy I learned from that mistake, and I will never do it again, because it kind of sucked to just like be 3rd all day and end up 4th. But you know what? I made a mistake. I thought I had it, and I went into top of the world easy because it's a long stage. And then I realized at the bottom that I forgot to stop telling myself it was a long stage at some point and tell myself to turn it up. So I just kind of rode top of the world to the bike park, just too mellow. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Maybe I would have pushed, maybe I would have laid it down and had a bad crash. So I'm happy to be in one piece, back up to speed, close with Isa on times, closer to Cecile one day. It was very bitter at the end, but now that it's all over, I can look back and be happy for Noga that she gets to step on the podium at Crankworx, and I can't wait for next year.
So yeah, this year we've had lots of rain and lots of extremely technical trails to race, and it's cool to come to Whistler and just race like fast, rough, mountain bike specific trails. And the weather couldn't have been more perfect this year. We got a little bit of rain right before the race, but all it did was make the trails even better. So we really couldn't have asked for a better race course this year. It was super fun, fast, physical. Yeah, I was 6th this year. It wasn't a perfect race. I had a few bobbles. I had a mechanical on the last stage and a big crash on stage 2. It wasn't perfect, but it never is. You strive for excellence, but that's what we do. Like it's tough to have that perfect race, you know, and I hope I can just do a little bit better next year. Going up for the last stage, it's one of the longest stages we race all year, like 21 minutes. It's so hard to predict and so hard to plan such a long run like that. And as well, it's in the bike park, so you pretty much have to go flat out the whole way, all the way down, top to bottom. And that was making me really nervous, just to, you know, all these what ifs going around in my mind. And I basically just told myself before I dropped in, like, I've had a good race already. I've had some really good stages. You know, no matter what happens on this last stage, I'm gonna be happy with myself and happy with my performance. Because yeah, you can't control all these things that might or might not happen on that massive run. So I told myself that, and that took a lot of the pressure off me, and I just, you know, dropped in, I raced my race. I think my top of the world was as good as it could have been. So I think that was probably my favorite kind of moment of the race. I had a mechanical on that race run. I kind of had to limp, you know, a good portion of the race down, but hey, that's okay. I still felt pretty good at the bottom, so I was happy.
Moving forward, pretty simple, just resting and healing as much as I can. It's a little stressful having come back from one injury so well. I feel the expectation to come back from this one well. Just trying to manage my expectations and just do what I can do, and hopefully I'm ready to go. I'll probably go to Europe regardless because I should be okay, if not for the first one, by the second one. Yeah, again, just kind of seeing Terra as much as I can. If I need to, talking to the mechanics and seeing what I can do to change my bike setup to make it more comfortable for myself.
I'm super stoked to ride for the Rocky Mountain Raceface Enduro team. They're two iconic brands that are from the North Shore. Myself and the rest of the team are all based in the Sea to Sky corridor, just up the road from these two brands. Couldn't replicate that with any other brands or teammates. So I think what we have going as the Canadian Dream Team is super cool and special. We've got 2 more races left this year, one in Spain and one finale in a few weeks. Yeah, now we've got some real good momentum coming out of Whistler, and I just want to continue that into the last 2 rounds and hopefully maybe squeak into the top 10.
I was so excited the night before the race that I couldn't get to sleep because I was getting my stuff ready, which I always do, but I was putting the new jersey, the new goggles, and I was just so excited. And it's silly, it's material, and sometimes I find myself silly for liking those things, but it does make it special, and it really showcases that special partnership that we have between Canadian brands like Raceface and Rocky Mountain. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't end.